Representative Thielen.
Mr. Speaker?
Yes.
Yes, I'm rising to speak against the measure.
Please proceed in
Thank you.
opposition.
Mr. Speaker, Senate Bill 2438 is relating to the Public Utilities Commission. It requires the Hawaii Natural Energy Institute to provide a technology readiness assessment of a renewable energy project when requested by the Public Utilities Commission. And then here's the key language. It prohibits the approval by the Public Utilities Commission of any project or contract for a renewable energy project with a, at this point, unspecified technology readiness level. The level is left blank, and my opposition to the bill, Mr. Speaker, is that I know ultimately there will be a number filled in that will then limit what Hawaii can do with renewable energy and PUC approval. The numbers that would adversely affect the expansion of our renewable energy industries are going to be inserted in conference committee, pretty much outside of the eye of the public, and where people are not able to weigh in with testimony in person to make that determination. Previous versions of Senate Bill 2438 specified a readiness level of 6, and that could exclude viable technologies such as wave energy and other ocean energies, as well as biofuel. Wave energy has been commercially viable in Europe for more than a decade. I've mentioned that before, Mr. Speaker. I've been over and talked with the proponents of those technologies and met with them in the different locations. Wave energy is viable. As the United States Department of Energy said recently at a conference held at Marine Corps Base, Hawaii, the United States is 10 years behind Europe. Well, with this kind of legislation, we'll remain that far behind. Here in Hawaii, the Navy has been conducting testing on wave energy at the Marine base for more than 5 years. They're now going to expand this testing by selecting 3 companies to plug in and test their wave energy converters at Marine Corps Base, Hawaii.
Representative Thielen,
Yes.
could you confine your remarks to the present legislation that is before this body? We are not addressing wave
I'm
energy
sorry,
at
Speaker,
this
if
point.
you could speak up a minute.
Could you confine your remarks to the proposed legislation that is before us in regards to delegating the authority of creating the HNEI, being that particular agency, to determine
Certainly.
the
Well,
readiness?
what I'm doing is showing you how the bill and a technology readiness level could harm what is going on at Marine Corps Base Hawaii with the wave energy, the new wave energy, it's called a wave energy test site, the WETS, which is going to be operable in 2014.
And
Specification
yes,
in the bill, Mr.
Representative
Speaker.
Thielen, at that point in time, the commercialization of the wave energy will be presented to HNEI, and then HNEI will say to the PUC, for this particular technology, you folks should consider it. So I can understand what you're saying, but can you confide your remarks to the content and substance of the bill that is before us?
The specification of a technology readiness level above 6 could inaccurately discard viable energies such as wave energy while it's in an earlier stage of development than wind or solar. Considering that the United States Department of Energy has stated its federal objective of obtaining 15% of national energy needs from water power, the last thing Hawaii should be doing is passing legislation that could be seen as restricting local research and development of ocean energy technologies. Mr. Speaker, the message that this bill sends to wave energy companies that are interested in participating in Hawaii is that it's going to put a limit on what you can do at the Marine base. In conversations from my office with Hawaiian Electric, I'd like to indicate Hawaiian Electric's opposition to this measure as a damp rag to what they are trying to accomplish. Ocean energy, including wave energy and biofuel technology, is in development, and it's at an earlier stage than wind or solar. But Hawaii wants to be open to all forms of renewable energy. Such restrictions send a very negative message regarding Hawaii's willingness to consider and utilize various renewable energy technologies. Obviously, the utility is not in favor of the bill. It anticipates problems were this to become law. If our state is to adhere to Senate Bill 2338's stated intent to deploy a number of transformational technology with real benefits, then we have to be sure that the real benefit of wave energy,
Representative
as
Rivera,
I yield my time. Thank you.
please proceed. Representative Thielen.
Thank you. We have to be sure that the real benefits of wave energy, as determined by the U.S. Department of Energy and exemplified by over a decade of successful implementation in Europe, is given a fair chance in Hawaii's waters. Mr. Speaker, I don't think that we want to be noted as calling a halt to progress, because when we are forced to buy retail down the road because we passed legislation such as this and put in a level of technology readiness that's going to stop the innovative work in Hawaii, it's going to mean we buy retail. And the countries and the states that are moving ahead with the renewable energy, they're going to get the jobs, they're going to get the bright minds. That's where our kids will graduate and go to work, not here, because we'll say, no, you've got to buy retail in Hawaii. We're not going to allow the testing to be taking place. The PUC will be prohibited by this bill from approving those kinds of projects. I don't want our kids to be working in Oregon when they could be working here, building our wave energy systems. But this bill is sending them to Oregon. Thank you.
Thank you very much.